asked you what you are doing here, and you'd better come up with an answer fast before I call the police. Think you know what'll happen to your license if I do that?
Since when you decide you needed a gun to protect yourself?
I don't want you to ask me any questions until you have answered some of mine. But then I think I can probably piece it all together on my own. Sure, I ran into you a few minutes ago in the lobby of the Springfield Towers with the Chamberlains. And Henry overheard me say I was going to spend the next 2 hours there going over the plans for the banquet. So he told you, and you decided this was the perfect time for you to break in here and snoop around.
Maybe you should have been the private detective, huh?
I have a good mind to call the police right now.
No, I don't think you better do that, Diane. Unless you're prepared to open that briefcase and show them the tapes that you stole out of my apartment.
You're crazy.
Oh, I know you well enough to know you would never destroy those tapes you sent me to Puerto Rico to get from Mike Bauer. So I know they got the proof on them to send your beloved Alan to prison. Yeah. And I also know that you convinced Alan that you couldn't wait for those tapes to get back so that you could destroy them. You better think about this, lady, because...
I don't need any advice from you. I want you out of here. And if you ever come near me or this apartment again, I will see to it that your license is revoked and that you are sent to jail.
Oh, I don't think you better do that either, lady. Because if you do, then I'll tell the police that you sent me to Puerto Rico to get those tapes from Mike, and that Alan sent me to Zurich to track down that ex-pilot of his.
Those are the emptiest threats I have ever heard in my life. There's nothing on paper to link Alan or me to you. It would be your word against ours. And I happen to know the reputation that you have with the local police. That's why I hired you in the first place, Joe. Oh, the authorities would just love to get one more piece of evidence on you so that they could take your license away, put you away in jail for a few months for safekeeping. Now get up! And put that briefcase back in the closet. Lock the closet door and leave the key in the lock and then go. Do as you're told and do it fast! I told you to leave the key in the lock. That's better. Now get out. Oh, Miss Hardwick, listen, there's nothing to be alarmed about, really. Really, nothing to be upset about. This is Mr. Bradley. He is a private detective. He was just showing me how to protect myself in case someone ever breaks in here, you know.
Of course. I've seen Mr. Bradley several times leaving your apartment. I was just concerned when I saw the door standing open. I remembered the other night how frightened I was when I saw that man crouched in front of your door.
I know. You see, that's when I went out and bought and licensed this gun. Did it the very next day. But I don't really know how to use a gun, so that's why I asked Joe to give me a few pointers.
Well, I hope you don't think I'm just a nosy neighbor. I was worried as all.
No. I understand perfectly. Really, I appreciate your concern.
I'm just glad to see that Diane has such caring neighbors.
Well, we single girls can't be too careful these days.
Right.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, too. Well, I'd like to see you force me out of here now, after that lovely explanation you gave your neighbor lady.
You just stay away from me.
I know you've got guts, Diane, but I don't think you've got what it takes to pull that trigger. I think I'm going to put you to the final test. And if I win, I get to see what's in that briefcase. Because I know damn well it's those tapes with Alan and Dr. Moreno's voices on it.
You had better just stay where you are. Because if you lose, it is all over. I'll simply tell Miss Hardwick there was a terrible accident while you were giving me a few pointers. I mean it! Stay away from me!